I've just spent the last 3 days doing something most digital product sellers never do. And it's quietly why so many Etsy shops, stand stores, and websites feel busy but inconsistent. I manually scrolled through thousands of listings across Etsy and other marketplaces. I checked what people were actively buying, not what looked good on paper. I track search patterns, click behavior, and little clues buyers leave behind when they are ready to spend. And by the end of it, my eyes were done, and I had that slightly unhinged feeling you get after too many tabs open and not enough sunlight. I found 7 digital product opportunities where buyers are actively searching and paying. The competition is still low enough to move fast, and most creators have completely missed them. In a minute, I'm going to show you all 7, but here's the part that matters. The products that were selling had one thing in common. The creator had clearly started with demand. They'd started with a buyer moment, and the products that were sitting there with no traction usually had the same issue. They were built from a creator moment. And that sounds small, but it changes everything. Because a creator moment sounds like, I feel like making this, or this sounds like it would be cute, or people seem to be selling this. But as a buyer moment, that sounds like, I need this by Friday. I'm overwhelmed and I want a simple tool that will help me. Or I'm trying to fix a problem and I want the quickest option. And once you start seeing buyer moments, you stop guessing. In a second, I'm going to show you exactly how this played out in the research and the 7 product opportunities that showed up with strong demand and surprisingly low competition. But first, I want to name the thing that's probably sitting in the back of your mind. If you're sitting there thinking, I've already made products and they didn't sell, I want you to hear me clearly, because that experience messes with your confidence, because it feels like evidence. It feels like proof that you're behind, or you picked wrong, or that you wasted your time. And it's especially brutal when you're building this business in the margins of your life. I learned this lesson in the most unglamorous way possible. I was in my working mom season. I worked a 9 to 5, building around the school runs, and my business hours were basically whatever I could steal between bedtime and before my brain finally gave up for the evening. I remember sitting there once feeling really proud because I'd finished a product. It looked good, it felt organized, I'd done the whole Canva thing properly, I'd uploaded it, written the listing, added the tags, the description, and then I hit publish. Then I waited. A day went by, nothing. 2 days, a week. And the worst part was I didn't even know what to fix. I was staring at my own shop like it was meant to give me the answer. That's when I realized something that sounds obvious now. A digital product can be well made and still be a poor business decision because effort doesn't automatically equal demand. A buyer doesn't reward you for how long you spent in Canva. A buyer rewards you for solving the right problem in the right moment that they were searching for it. So basically, I had to change my process. I started doing the research first, and I looked for what people were actually typing in. I read reviews to make sure I had the right buyer language. I looked at competition, demand signals. I used research tools before I even built it. And once I did that, my confidence shifted. I stopped feeling like every product was a personal gamble. I started feeling like I was stacking the odds in my favor for once. So here's who I'm talking to today. If you sell on Etsy, and you feel like you're shouting in a crowded room or shouting into the void, this is for you. If you sell digital products through Standstore, Gumroad, PayHip, your own Shopify store, your own website, or just a link in bio, this is for you. If you've got ideas saved in your notes app and you keep thinking, I just need to pick one and commit, this is for you. Because the platform is the shelf. Think of it like that. And the real question is whether what you're putting on the shelf matches a buyer moment that already exists. Basically, demand is demand, even when the platform changes. Etsy gives you search data and buyer behavior, which is why I love starting there. But your own website gives you higher margins and more control. However, in all cases, your job stays the same. Build what people are actually looking for. Oh, and if you're new here, I'm Roxy. I'm a mum of 3, wife of almost 20 years, London-based, and I've been doing the digital product thing for about 10 years plus. I've been through all the different phases, the excited uploading phase, the why is no one buying phase, the tweaking at midnight phase. And over the years, I've sold digital products across platforms such as Etsy, Amazon KDP, Standstore, PayHip, Gumroad, my own website. So when I think about what sells, I'm thinking about what survives real shops, real search behavior, real money. I teach calm, repeatable workflows, research-first products that make sense fast. And if you want a simple way to validate demand before you build anything, then I've got a free resource. It's called the 5-minute product demand check. It's the exact process I use to decide whether an idea is worth my time without overthinking it for too much. So if you want it, make sure you comment check in the comments below and I'll make sure I get you the link. As I walk through these, I'm going to point out angles that most sellers miss. The difference between a nice idea and buyers are actually clicking this. So, okay, let's jump into product 1. This is one that made me sit up a bit because the search numbers are doing something you don't see often. Dopamine menus. If you've been on TikTok at any point in the last year, you've probably seen this floating around. And if you haven't, you've definitely probably felt the problem that it solves. A dopamine menu is a simple printable where someone lists mood-boosting activities organized like a restaurant menu. Starters are 5-minute resets, mains are deeper stuff that takes longer, sides are background comfort while you're doing life, and desserts a little treat, and specials are bigger things that you plan ahead. The reason this sells has nothing to do with aesthetics. It sells because decision-making disappears when you feel overwhelmed. People default to doom scrolling because choosing anything feels like effort. So before I build anything, I always want to ground the idea in real Etsy data. So the first thing I do is open my Etsy research tool. In this case, I'm using Sales Samurai, but I do kind of jump from tool to tool. With Sales Samurai, I'm checking 3 things only: search volume, competition, and click-through rate. What I'm seeing here gives me enough confidence and data to move forward. The search volume shows demand, the competition is workable, and the click-through rate tells me buyers are engaging rather than scrolling past. And that's the signals I'm looking for. I don't need perfection at this stage, I just need proof that this idea has legs. So when I validated this with search data, it came in at 65,000 plus monthly searches with less than 500 competing listings. That ratio is rare. That's showing high intent buyers with low competition. And the click-through rate tells you people are not casually browsing, they're looking for a solution. Now let's talk about where Etsy sellers and off-platform sellers can win with this. If you sell on Etsy, your edge is going to come from niche clarity, not prettier graphics. Most current versions are generic. A lot are static PDF. So if you want your version to stand out, you build from one of these angles. Angle 1. Make an editable version. You can make it editable in Canva so the buyer can then personalize their activities, their colors, and their wording. That small feature could become the reason why someone chooses your listing over someone else's. Angle 2, a specific buyer. So pick one niche buyer and build around their language. Say dopamine menu for working mums, or a dopamine menu for students, or a dopamine menu for entrepreneurs. When you niche it down, your listing becomes easier to write because you already know what problem it's solving. Basically, keep it simple, keep it calm, keep it feeling doable. And if you sell on somewhere like Stand Store or your own website or via social media, this becomes a really clean, low-ticket product. It also makes a brilliant add-on for anyone with an audience in well-being, productivity, ADHD support, or coaching. Price it between $5 and $7, bundle it with a matching weekly reset sheet, or offer a version that matches the tone of your brand. This is a 1 to 2 page product, and it's exactly the thing I keep inside my membership. More details on that later. Okay, product number 2, debt coloring pages. And I know on paper this sounds simple, but that's the point. The buyer isn't looking for another complicated budget system or tracker spreadsheet. They're looking for something that helps them stay consistent when motivation dips. Debt tracking already comes with an emotion. For a lot of people, it comes with shame, pressure, or that heavy, I should have had this all sorted out by now feeling. A coloring tracker softens the whole experience and kind of gamifies it in a way. It turns progress into something visual and satisfying. For instance, you pay $50 off on a debt balance, and then you get to color in a section. And then your brain gets this kind of dopamine hit and a feeling of relief. That little hit matters to someone who is trying to stay consistent for months on end. When I validated this, the numbers were really strong. 26,000 plus monthly searches and only 179 competing listings. That is a massive gap. And it tells you something important about buyer intent. People are searching for this because they want a tool that keeps them going, that keeps them on track. They don't want another spreadsheet that they'll avoid opening. Now here's where you can make this work for you depending on where you sell. If you're selling on Etsy, the winners here are not always the prettiest. They are the clearest. The buyer wants to see it and instantly understand how it works. Here are a few angles that could sell well. Angle 1, maybe a couple or families version coloring tracker. Because debt is often shared, something like a We're Debt-Free tracker or a family debt payoff version speaks to a buyer with a specific reality. Angle 2, a niche-specific debt, such as student loan tracker or a credit card coloring page or someone who's paying off their mortgage. Basically, different debt types come with different emotional language, which you would want to use in your listing. When you match that language, conversion gets easier, and basically you make more sales. And if you sell via Standstore or your own website or on socials, then this becomes a beautifully low ticket offer for a warm audience. Even if you have a small community around something such as budgeting, financial coaching, or debt-free journeys, or frugal living, this product turns into something that you can sell daily without feeling salesy. This is because it genuinely is useful and fulfills a real need. You could also use it for a lead magnet for an audience. A simple bundle idea might be something like a coloring tracker with a 1-month budget page and maybe a page that is a no spend challenge tracker. But that small step creates something that feels really complete. In the next product, we shift into a category that has consistent demand because schools and parents keep buying it year after year. And if you ever thought about selling kids resources or classroom printables, you'll want to hear this one. Product number 3, mindful breathing cards for kids. This is one of those quiet evergreen sellers that keeps moving because the need has become permanent. Every classroom has a calm corner now. Every parent has a we need to calm down spot at home too, even if they never call it that. And kids need tools that feel simple in the moment. Breathing cards do exactly that. They're usually a set of 8 to 15 printable cards, each showing a breathing exercise with a visual. Something like rainbow breathing or star breathing or snake hiss breath. It's practical, it gives a child something to follow when their brain is busy. And if you've ever tried to explain, take a deep breath to a child who's mid-meltdown, you already know why these sell. Now, when I validated demand, I saw over 16,000, almost 17,000 monthly searches and just under 1,000 completing listings, with a 15% plus click-through rate. That competition number looks higher than the first two. So here's the nuance. This category has consistent buying power. It's big enough for multiple sellers because teachers, parents, therapists, carers are all shopping for it. The buyers are also more selective, which is actually good news if you can be more specific. And here's the thing that most sellers miss. A lot of the sets I've seen are generic. They're bright, they're cheerful, they're aimed at kids. So your edge in this situation will be to niche down on age and situation clarity. This reveals gaps that you can step into with intention. So if you sell on Etsy, gap 1 would be to create for age-specific sets. So if you're creating for toddlers, you want picture-led cards with minimal words and big icons. If you're catering for primary age, maybe you want playful themes with simple instructions. If you're catering for slightly older tweens, then you might want calmer or cooler designs that don't feel so babyish. Gap 2 would be to cater for needs-specific sets. And this is where your product becomes easier to position. Things such as anxiety reset cards or ADHD focus and regulation cards, or even sensory calming cards. And for those of you selling on your own platform or to your own audience, this becomes even easier if you already have trust. So if you're a school counselor or an occupational therapist or a speech therapist, special educational teacher or a parent coach, you can sell this as a resource pack on your website or include it as a paid add-on for clients. Buyers on your platform care about the outcome and the clarity. They want a tool that feels thoughtful and usable. And this is one of those products where a template system will save you hours. The structure stays the same across niches. You swap out the theme, the language, the visuals, and create a cohesive collection. Product number 4 moves into creator business tools. LTK or Like to Know It Canva template. If you've never used Like to Know It before, here's the short version. It's an affiliate platform that lifestyle creators use to link to products such as fashion, health, beauty, motherhood, interior design, and the creators using it like posting shoppable content constantly. And that means they need fresh graphics all the time. They don't want to open Canva. They don't want to start from scratch. And when I first saw a listing selling these Canva templates for upwards of £20 or $25 and moving quickly, it made me pause, because that isn't printable pricing. That's business tool pricing. So I validated it properly, obviously. And what I saw were over 67,000 searches, under 600 competing listings, and 19% click-through rate. Those numbers are telling you something important. Basically, the buyers here understand return on investment. And in this case, one affiliate sale will pay for those templates straight up. Everything after that is profit. And this is why pricing in this category comfortably sits upwards of 10, 20, 25, even £30, sometimes higher, depending on how much value you're providing. Now, most of the listings in this space that I've seen are quite neutral, they're quite generic collage packs. They blend in too. And here's how you make yours stand out in a way that feels simple and strategic. If you sell on Etsy or somewhere like Creative Market, then your advantage is being really specific. Angle 1, niche packs. These are built for the type of creator who wants to shop by identity. For example, templates designed for home decor creators, or beauty and skincare influencers specifically, or a mum life content creator, or maybe a minimalist brand or a bold color-led account. Basically, when the niche is clear, the buyer can then picture using it immediately. Angle 2 would be seasonal sets. Influencers post hardest around high buying seasons, so maybe a Black Friday themed set or a Christmas gifting type set, maybe one themed for Valentine's or for spring or summer, even back to school. You can build one seasonal set and sell it every year with updates. Next up is product number 5, and it's one of the most searched categories. It also has an untapped buyer group that almost nobody is serving properly: hygiene trackers. On the surface, this looks like a kids printable, and yes, the kids versions sell very well because parents are tired. If you've ever asked, have you brushed your teeth 3 times before 8 a.m., you already understand the buyer need. It reduces reminders, it reduces conflict, it gives the child ownership as well in a way that feels simple. When I validated this one, the demand is huge. Over 44,000 monthly searches and just 700 plus competing listings with a 14% click-through rate. So the demand is there. But here's what I want you to notice, because this is where the window is. Almost everything on the market is designed for little kids. Pastels, cartoons, sticker chart energy. And that works for the parent buyer, so definitely bear that in mind. But there's another buyer who's searching for this and not quite finding a version that feels safe. And that's for grown-ups, adults, people dealing with things such as depression, where self-care slips first, adults with ADHD who forget routines, postpartum mums in survival mode, people with chronic illness who need gentle structure during flares. The mental health conversation around hygiene struggles is real, and the products that are available are still stuck in that kids-only gap, and this gap is your opportunity. If you sell on Etsy, you can create 2 lanes inside one category. You can create the kids lane with picture-only toddler versions. You could create minimalist teen versions that avoid those cutesy graphics. And then for the adult lane, you could create minimal, non-judgmental design, simple language, checkboxes with space for notes too. With this, your listing title and mock-up need to make the buyer feel understood fast. If you sell on your own website or via social media, this becomes a beautiful resource product if you serve ADHD coaches or mental health audiences or well-being communities or even motherhood support groups. You can sell it as a low-ticket tool. You can include it in a self-care bundle. You can even use it as a bonus with another product. This is also the kind of product that doesn't need bells and whistles. It just needs clarity. So now we're about to shift into another kids category, and there's a reason that themed versions outperform generic ones every single time with this. Product number 6 is a steady seller in the kids space: dot marker coloring pages. These are the pages with those little circles kids fill in using those bingo dabbers. They're brilliant for toddler hands, fine motor practice, and those "I need you to be busy for 10 minutes, please" moments. Teachers use them, daycare uses them, homeschool parents use them, special education classrooms use them, and the demand is solid with over 22,000 monthly searches with 1,900 odd competing listings with a 5 to 6% click-through rate. And that click-through rate is the real clue here. Buyers are picky in this market. They scroll past generic packs and click when the theme matches what they need right now. Let's face it, nobody's waking up excited to buy dot marker pages. They're searching because they need farm animals for a topic week, vehicles because their child is obsessed with cars, or alphabet and numbers because school is coming up, or even holiday themes because the calendar demands it. So the opportunity is not in making more pages, it's in making the right themed pack at the right moment. Those details serve real people. Buyers notice, and if you sell these off Etsy, these packs still work. They do really well as low-ticket offers on websites, especially if your audience is parents, teachers, homeschoolers, or send support. The last product is one of my favorites for a very specific reason. It's a search term with demand with buyers who have money to spend. And what I've seen is that Etsy's algorithm is currently confused because hardly anyone is serving it properly. Let's talk about it. Master's degree invitation. This category is such a good example of what happens when demand exists, but the market is serving it badly. Now, advanced degree graduations are a huge milestone. Masters, PhDs, MBAs, these are older graduates and they have income. They care about presentation. When I searched this properly, Etsy's results were honestly confused. I saw golf-themed first birthday parties and random clip art and undergrad energy everywhere. That usually tells me one thing. The demand exists, but the market is underserved. And when I validated it, the numbers back that up. Over 16,000 monthly searches, only 160-something computing listings. And when you strip out the irrelevant results, the real competition drops even further. The buyers here want something specific. And here's how you can step into that space with a product that feels premium without feeling complicated. Angle 1, elegant design direction. Think minimalist typography, black and gold color schemes, modern neutrals, sophisticated florals, and customizable photo options that feel adult. Angle 2, degree-specific versions. This is the part always nobody does, and it's where buyers feel seen. Things such as Masters of Social Work graduation, or something aligned with a nursing master's graduation. You can create one base design system and adjust the degree text and styling. Angle 3 here would be to bundle this like stationery. This buyer may want a set, so you can bundle the invitation with a welcome sign, with a thank you card, and a matching announcement. Even a simple 3-piece bundle raises perceived value and gives you a stronger price point. And don't forget the video invite options as well, because people love to share their invites via WhatsApp, social media, etc. And quick note about pricing. Milestone buyers pay more for quality and ease. They want something they can edit really quickly, couple of minutes. They can download it and send it out without stress. That is the value you're providing. So now you've heard 7 product ideas, and I want you to notice what they all share. They are tied to a real buyer moment. In the final section, I want to bring this full circle because I know what it feels like when you're doing everything right and your shop still feels unpredictable. I used to create beautiful products that nobody bought, not because they were bad, but because I was guessing, and guessing has a quiet cost. You stop trusting yourself. You start thinking that you need a new niche every month. You start rewriting listings, tweaking mock-ups, changing fonts, and hoping that that effort turns into demand. Let me tell you a secret. It doesn't. Demand comes first. Then you build around it. So let's zoom out for a second. These 7 products look very different on the surface. Mental health tools, kids printables, creator templates, milestone invitations, but underneath, they all share the same pattern. They exist because someone is in a moment where they want relief, progress, or celebration, and they want it now. They're not browsing for inspiration. They're researching with intent. And that's the part most advice skips. A lot of creators are taught to start with ideas or trends or what other shops are doing. But that keeps you stuck in comparison mode and second guessing. The calm way is to choose something simpler. You ask 3 questions. What problem is someone actively trying to solve? What words are they using to search for help? And can I create a simple tool that fits into that moment without overcomplicating it? If the answer is yes, then you've got your solid starting point. Once I started validating what buyers were actually searching for already, everything got easier and so much calmer. My product decisions stopped feeling personal. My catalogue got more cohesive. Sales became steadier because each product had a reason to exist. And that's what matters when you're selling on Etsy or anywhere else. A good product with clear demand. And if you're listening to this thinking, I like those ideas, but I don't have time to build everything from scratch, that's a fair concern. And most people watching this are building around real life, which is not unlimited creative energy. So here's what I do instead. I don't reinvent every product. I work from strong foundations. I use templates that have structure. Then I apply bias and positioning on top. That's how you move faster without your business turning into a constant Canva drain of starting from scratch. And if you want support while you do that, this is exactly why my online Income Studio membership is set up. There is a free tier where you can come in, get your bearings and access the starter resources to help you choose direction and stop spiraling. If you want access to the 100 product strong digital product library of ready-made Canva editable templates that you can personalize and publish quickly, that sits inside the premium and above membership tiers. This, alongside rebranding and repurposing tools and tutorials, will be there to save you time without lowering your standards. It's built for aspiring sellers who want to move faster without guessing. And one last thing, a calm business doesn't come from doing more. It comes from repeatable systems that still work when life is loud and your energy is average or below. Use this if it helps. Calm progress beats chaos every time.